Pause.
Yep.
Clap it.
1, 2, 3, and we're back.
Back here off of Asylum Avenue. Gonna rock out Asylum Avenue.
Yeah. So I guess I didn't. A little Portland history. You were saying that apparently Hawthorne used to be called Asylum Avenue, which is not. I did not know that. I wasn't aware of that until just now.
Up, man.
So
Crazy assholes up here, man. That's why I'm living here.
still, yeah.
They're like, hey, you need a place? It's like, yeah, right here off Asylum Avenue. Okay,
The name changes. The more names change, the more things stay the same, or something like that.
right? And, now chilling in the fucking yellow room with fucking 8 windows. That was polio kids' fucking Sun Haven back in the day. And
It really does feel like we're in a birdhouse for people, though, because the trees they're all right there. They're all right outside the window. And the yellow, for some reason, I don't know, it feels like a birdhousey color.
it does.
Very much so.
Yeah, I like the yellow though, man. It's the yolk color.
Right,
man.
Exactly. It's warming, it's healing, it centers you.
It's probably all fucking sun and cigarettes from the polio kid. He was probably smoking.
Oh, sure, yeah.
It was probably white walls and yellow,
Right.
yellow from the cigarettes. So.
Well, yeah, because that was when, like, doctors would prescribe people cigarettes, right? It's good for your lungs. Right. The smooth taste of Chesterfield.
Right. They're not good anymore.
I'm sorry. I hate to... Listen. Listen, we have something to tell
You gotta back this train up. So,
hold on. What?
So smoking is not...
Some people say.
Right. Are these people aren't like... Are these paid actors on TV?
Yeah, Aaron Eckhart did a movie.
So he was a paid actor. So
right,
like,
so who knows, really.
Right.
Really.
It's probably based off something that might be
Sure, yeah, it's it's like an Aaron Brockovich thing. Maybe it happened, who knows. But she didn't look like Julia Roberts, that's for damn sure.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel like a terrible person. Oh, well.
Julia Roberts?
What wasn't that? She was Aaron Brockovich?
Yeah, she was Aaron Brockovich. I didn't see them film.
Well, yeah, no, but I mean, just because it's based on a true story, but I'm sure Aaron Brockovich didn't look the same as Julia Roberts.
Right. Yeah. I'd hope... I don't have any... I'm not Aaron Brockovich, obviously, man.
Sure.
I don't know who would cast as me, man. I'd probably get...
if it was right now,
I
feel like it would... I think Zach Galifianakis, but he'd have to lose a bunch of weight.
Dude, I can get him to lose weight, man. I'm just gonna... I figure...
Or...
part of my budget. Go ahead.
Yeah, there you go. Or easier, you just gain a bunch of weight. For the...
I tried, man. I'm trying to gain...
Oh, you're one of those guys?
Yeah, I've been
who just can't?
Since I was fucking, like, my whole life.
Yeah.
My whole life. Like, I'm the same height, same weight almost since I was 16. Like,
yeah.
I just... Maybe I put on a little bit of weight, but not much. Like...
Yeah.
And that was, like, at least 2 or 3 years ago since I was 16.
Sure.
Yeah. I think it was... Yeah, since... 18 and a half now. I think that's
Just a couple. Yeah. Yeah. Have you... Oh, speaking of... Was Zach in that? I don't think he was in that. But it's all of those other guys. This Is the End. Have you seen This Is the End?
I did. I just went and saw that with Jeremiah last Friday.
Okay. Yeah. What did you think of it?
It was okay. Like, I wish... Did you see it?
Yeah, I saw it.
Okay, so... Spoiler alert for everyone who
Woo! For a yeah, it's a comedy. Whatever.
Turn it off. Turn it back on in about 13 minutes when we complete our talk about This Is the End. So, I'm pissed off that a lot of the smaller characters were only in there for like such a short time. Like, I don't like that McLovin and Michael Cera.
Oh,
and
yeah.
those people all just kind of... met there early
yeah.
Death, but it was worth it. And I like the part they decided they're gonna make Pineapple Express 2, and they make like the real.
Oh right, yeah, where they all sort of do their own. Yeah, about the whole thing was very self-aware. I liked that.
Yeah.
And I think part of the reason they killed all those people off is just because it was already an ensemble. Like, the main cast is already 6 people.
Yeah.
And so they got all their friends to it. Because I think the way that movie got made is just collectively, all of those guys have been doing this long enough that they had enough pull between, James Franco and Jonah Hill and Seth Rogen and like all of those guys just collectively have enough pull that they just got the money and got to do whatever they wanted.
Yeah, like the Grown-Ups kind of thing.
Right, except not god-awful. Right. Except Kevin James isn't in it.
Right. There's no Kevin James in that mix. It was I don't know. Jonah Hill.
The nice character Jonah... And that they all play exaggerated versions of themselves, right? Like the super nice Jonah Hill. He's just like, can I help you with anything? Shut up, and then he's just like, I want you to die, Jay. But... I don't know, and I think part of it, too, is the only reason that they had so many people is because that a lot of them weren't doing longer parts. Because a lot of those guys are either, working comedians or they're actors with projects and stuff like that. So I think the fact that they got some of them for that long, like, I'm sure Aziz couldn't have done, 6 or 8 weeks or months, or I don't know how long it takes. I have a degree. I don't know how long it takes to make a movie.
It's usually about a day and a half and the movie's done. I don't know how long it took that movie.
No, but like, and I just like the fact that like they clearly got to do whatever they want. Like the special effects, when they got to, as a joke for the special effects, spend God knows how many tens of thousands of dollars to make like, yeah, let's make a 40-foot long Satan lava cock, right? And that's a joke. And like, yeah, I'm sure it's realistic to the lore or whatever, because in the beginning when he goes, I assume they did their research for shit like that, right? I'm sure they did their research. It's in all the satanic imagery, but also they're like, what if we just make a movie? Because it's about Hollywood, and it's about being famous and being in movies, really.
Yeah.
So they got to sort of poke fun at that. But, like, honest to God, some special effects guy had to sit there for weeks and, like, make sure the reflection off the 30-foot-long Satan dong was right.
Satan lava dong.
Right, and that was the joke in and of itself, that, like, look, this exists now.
Yeah.
And, like, that's what I really liked about that movie, is just, like, it was them fucking goofing off.
Right, and then someone's gonna get paid to fucking make a 30-foot long Satan lava dick.
Right, exactly. And then everybody gets to see it in theaters everywhere.
Right.
And like just that like, and I'm okay with that being a joke. And that it is very inside baseball, the whole thing. You sort of have to be aware of Hollywood and sort of comedy and how all of these things interplay, at least to some degree. I think you can enjoy it without it.
Yeah.
But I think that movie was sort of aimed at an audience. We're the audience for that movie.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I liked it a lot. I think that for what they set out to do, it turned out pretty well. And that it was a good disaster movie. Like, it's better than any of the disaster movies that I've seen in the last 10 years, or so, for as long as they've been doing disaster movies at this point. Like, end of the world movies. It's like,
I don't think I liked any of those end of the world movies.
Right, they're all shit.
One that
and the fact that it was a good comedy and a good end of the world movie at the same time, I'm like, okay, I'm willing to forgive pretty much anything else that's wrong with it at this point. Because, like, there were moments that were genuine, like, I don't know if they were scary, but there was at least some good surprise scary moments with, like, the hellhound or whatever that's just covered in teeth when it comes through the corner, when him and, the guy from Hot Tub Time Machine, when they go next door to James Franco.
Craig Robinson.
Yeah, and they go next door to James Franco's house to, like, get food or whatever, and then the big thing just, like, through the wall. And I was, like, in the theater, I was like, oh, Jesus Christ! And then they went back and forth between that so easily. They went from, like, those sort of moments, and they're like, oh, am I gonna die? And, like, the morality was very ham-fisted, obviously, but...
Yeah.
But that they went from that to, like, just all of those two shots. And apparently, I heard most of it was improvised, but, like, they just go to those two shots of James Franco and Seth Rogen, who've known each other for 20 years at this point or something, and like they're just like back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and then like, oh no, terror, it's Jonah Hill projectile vomiting Exorcist style, right?
That must have been fun, man.
Yeah, no, like, it was a fun movie to make, and to me, I can feel the fun that they had making it, and that makes it fun for me to see. And, like, that's really all I need out of a piece of entertainment, is, like, did they enjoy doing this? Yeah, then I like it, too.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I've never really understood, exploitation film, and people who are, like, really into, like, B movies that are, like, nobody's having fun doing it, and it's just sort of getting cranked out, and that creates a certain aesthetic, and I get that, but like I don't enjoy that at all, just because I'm like, none of these people look like they're having fun.
Give me an example.
Well, like, I'm not into it, so I don't know any of them specifically, but like Tarantino is known for doing exploitation stuff. Like Pulp Fiction really is. It's in the style of an exploitation movie, except that obviously, like, Bruce Willis is a famous, highly paid professional actor, and so, but it's like that sort of just like super gritty, gory, violent, and a lot of times they were shot on very low budgets in remote locations, and a lot of times there'd be sort of questions or urban legends as to like, oh, I heard they actually killed somebody doing this movie, or like stuff like that, and they never really did, but it was that sort of a thing, and like, but there would be real conflicts, and like people would be underpaid and like not get to leave, and you'd have crazy producers waving guns around sometimes and stuff, and like it was sort of like the Wild West low budget movie area, sort of like the mid to late 70s and early 80s, when the film school generation, people like Scorsese was making Taxi Driver. Or Taxi, not Taxi Driver. Taxi Driver is the one with Queen Latifah, isn't it?
No, that's Taxi.
That is Taxi, okay.
Taxi Driver
is the one, the real one, yeah. Okay. They're always right next to each other on the show.
Right, they're both hilarious comedies. I'm always laughing at Taxi.
Yeah, post-traumatic stress disorder and
Did
schizophrenia.
you ever see the movie Taxi with Queen Latifah?
No, I haven't. Was it Justin Long?
It might have been, dude. That guy,
it was somebody who looked like Justin Long.
Was it Jimmy Fallon?
Oh yeah, it was. It was young Jimmy Fallon who looks like Justin Long.
And I never saw it. I hope they made a lot of Taxi Driver jokes, man. Like.
About the Scorsese movie? Yeah, that'd be really fun. Don't worry, I don't have a gun.
Yeah. It's just like Queen Latifah saying it, man.
Yeah.
And I think that would add to it.
That's a movie I'd see.
I would too, man.
It's a recreation of Martin Scorsese's Taxi.
Sorry,
with Queen Latifah and Jimmy Fallon. But like Jimmy Fallon now.
Yeah.
And so he's just like, what am I doing here? Like he has his suit on.
It just... Yeah, you just stand there. He wouldn't have to say anything. He could just like literally stand there.
Yeah, their roles have kind of switched since that film was made, huh? I haven't heard about Queen Latifah much lately. Like, I'm sure I don't think she MC Hammered it. Like, I'm sure she invested well. Yeah, Seemed like a sharp cookie.
She's had shit from way back, man, because she was a rap-a-later and shit,
right.
Man.
Didn't she win an Oscar for something?
For Taxi. I'm pretty sure.
No, I thought maybe she was nominated for, like, Chicago or something. I don't remember.
Probably, man.
Richard Gere was in Chicago. How did that happen?
Dude, it's Chicago.
Like, it worked.
Why would Richard Gere be in
I don't know. Richard Gere's... he's bizarre.
Well, okay. Aside from the fucking hamster and the asshole, is he bizarre?
Was that... I hadn't heard about... Was that a thing? What? Or a rumor? I'm sorry. I don't watch the news. I don't read celebrity gossip.
This is old.
No, I'm sure it is, but, like, I don't... I lived in a very isolated place, and, like, nobody in my family cared about any of that stuff, and then I just don't...
That's good.
Now I just don't read the news. There's this lady... Oh, my God. There's this lady at my office who just reads, like, I don't even know what it is. One of these awful non-news sites, like Yahoo News or something, and just reads it out loud to anybody who will listen to her, but very sincerely. Like, she reads the headlines and actually cares. Like, oh my God, you guys! 3 people were found in a well in Nebraska, and their traumatic ordeal. Can you believe this? It's so... Oh, I just don't know what I would do. And I'm like, Nobody gives a shit. This is not news. This is not just... Why aren't you working? Why aren't you fucking... I'm a child, and I am doing more work than you, a grown-ass person who've worked here for God knows how long, have done today. Stop reading us Yahoo News. Nobody... You missed your calling as a CNN anchor, just sounding very sincere about bullshit.
Right.
But...
But she actually seems to care about. She seems to care about,
guess.
care about it.
I think she genuinely cares about it, which almost bothers me more than anything.
Right.
Like, if it was a joke and she was just being a dick, then I'd be like, all right, I don't like this, but I understand what you're doing. With this, I'm like, I don't know how you can take... Like, how are you really taking this seriously?
Yeah.
Do you really think this is a thing?
Yeah, this is important, man. This
Oh my god.
late breaking news, man.
Ridiculous.
And she's probably getting updates tweeted to her phone, just like.
Oh no, that's the other thing. It's like, so the office I work in is like, it's a 40 or 45 people in the office, and I'm one of less than 10 guys in the whole office, which is interesting, just because usually, you know, it's different than what we're used to as straight white men. That just being in any sort of a minority is, and like, it's not like it's bad, but it's just like, oh, this is different. But then also, the office is predominantly, single women over 50.
Dude, that's how it was with me. I did that. I worked at a Montessori school, dude, and I worked with 11 women who were like, one of them was like a couple of years younger than me, and she was pretty hot, but she had like a shitload of kids already. And then like everyone else was like in their 50s, and like most of them were just fucking like
reading Yahoo News out loud. Getting emotionally invested in Yahoo News in order to give some sort of meaning to their life.
To their fucking awesome life of fucking hating being around these little kids and shit. And yeah, dude, being the minority as a white fucking straight male, dude, is a fucking bitch, man.
Well, and it's not even like, and I don't want to sound like I'm complaining about it, because obviously, you know, that's the fact that I'm noticing it means it's basically the first time I've ever been in that position. Yeah. And so I don't want to complain or anything, but it's just like, yeah, it's like, I understand now. I understand what pretty much anyone who isn't me is doing all of the time, is just like putting up with this bullshit all of the time.
Yeah.
And like, and it's not even bad. It's not like I'm discriminated against or anything, but just sort of noticing that otherness. It's like, now I understand. And like, yeah, you understand sort of logically before, like, you're like, okay, I know that people are in the minority and they have to deal with sort of the repercussions of that and people being assholes, and you do your best not to be an asshole. But then just actually being there and like not having anything bad happen, but just being in that position where you are not what everyone else is. You're just like, oh, I see now. It's like, I get it. And
yeah, it's like a lot like Richard Gere.
Exactly. It's just like Richard Gere. It's nothing like Richard Gere. Well, Richard Gere has probably never been in that position.
With the hamster and the ass.
Oh, I see.
That's what you like a minority. There's
I gotcha.
Like not a big group of people who allegedly have put hamsters in their assholes and
right.
Get it like removed. Like for some reason, like early '90s, dude, this was like something like that just like circulated around like
right out of.
I wasn't there. I wasn't near Richard Gere's asshole.
Right.
I didn't.
The early '90s equivalent of Yahoo News.
Right. Yeah. Did you know that
Weekly
Richard
World
Gere
News? Yeah, exactly. Well, and Tom Cruise was gay, and just like they like calling anybody gay. It was the last gasp of like extremely visible public homophobia.
Right.
The late '90s tabloids.
Yeah.
Just like and then Ellen's like, also, I have this show and I make $1 skajillion, and everyone's like, oh, I guess that's all right then. Or that was, I feel like that was the beginning of the end. Ellen getting a TV show may have been the beginning of the end for orientation-based bigotry.
Yeah.
Daytime TV, really. Once something is acceptable on daytime TV, I feel like that's the yardstick for the greater part of the American population.
Once Oprah's down with it,
right? Exactly.
Then you got like fucking at least 35% of the fucking population.
Oh sure, yeah, exactly.
I'll say it. I'll say there's at least 35% of the people with whatever Oprah says fucking is like.
Oh yeah, they're on board immediately.
Smart,
well, that's, I mean, and they've shown that effect. I don't even know if I read an article, but there might have been an article. There's probably been an article.
News.
But yeah, Yahoo News. I was reading this Yahoo News article.
Yeah.
They had these great charts. But no, like, and sort of the way they were able to quantify that sort of the Oprah effect by because of the book club, the Oprah Book Club, so they could show sort of sales of a book, and then when it was on the show or it was on Oprah's book club, just like this massive spike in sales, like 3, 4, 8, 10 times or more or something. And so they could, you were able to really easily quantify sort of the breadth of the effect that Oprah has on her viewership through that thing. And like, yeah, it really is. It's outrageous.
Yeah.
And she doesn't even have a show anymore. And still is just like this massive wielder of influence.
Oh, dude, they're all on. You're checking Yahoo News, waiting for Oprah to fucking
Right,
say something.
exactly.
It'll be up there, man.
Yeah, that. I'm 100% sure that the lady at my office who reads Yahoo News out loud will do anything Oprah tells her to do.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, and she's never said anything about Oprah, but I'm sure.
Right.
I'm absolutely sure.
Drop it in sometime. Just drop it
Yeah.
in for a minute.
Oh, yeah. Just like, hey, I heard Oprah said this. Really?
Yeah.
She just comes to work the next day with, I don't know, armfuls of oranges. I don't know what I told her.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, Oprah said, bring your employees, other employees oranges every day.
yeah, vitamin C is good for your skin, and
There's a lot of other people who like oranges too. You should bring them oranges and make the world a better place.
Oprah said, yeah, and that's the other, and like, the problem is I want to be mad at her, and I want to like, but everything she does is so nice.
Yeah.
Like, but it's forced. It seems really forced and very, very surface level. And like, she's the lady who coordinates all the office birthday parties and like is always so many cards. I have to sign so many cards, like 3 or 4 or 5 cards a week. I have to sign cards for people showing up or people leaving or people's birthdays or whatever. And it's just, and she's the person who runs all of that for office morale. But it's like, I would feel, and like, you can't be mad at her because, like, yes, technically speaking, you're doing a nice thing for somebody, but everyone is tired of it.
Right. And when does it usually come to you? How full is the card when it gets to you? Because you're like, if I'm the first person on there and like they come to me first, I just write my name and that's it. But if I'm last, I don't want everyone reading like, oh, hey, I had a great time working with you.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed finger blasting you in the room.
Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday. And you feel like you have to come up with something.
Right, yeah. So if I save it to the end, I might be able to write a little something more. But at the beginning, I'm just like, dude, I don't want to fucking write this and have knowing everyone that I finger blasted this copy room.
Nobody gets finger blasted in our copy room. It doesn't have doors.
Oh, man.
It's open floor plan. There's not a lot of... Even the bosses, though. The bosses' offices are all glass, so they're not getting away with anything either.
Then you gotta hang out in the bathroom.
No, that building... Not a good plan. The whole... I had a guy from one of the other offices. It was like a law office or something. I don't know. This super old guy. Like one of those people... All of the offices in this building have people who are only still employed because they've worked there for so long and just nobody's gonna fire them because they've worked there longer than whoever is at the top at this point, and they probably don't do anything, but like, you're not gonna fire an old person.
Yeah.
Like, that's what, and they still show up every day and they kind of do something. But anyway, so I was in the bathroom and some guy from another office, not my office, I'm standing there at the urinals, right? And you standard protocol, you either look straight ahead or down.
Right.
If there's somebody, that's standard practice. And this guy looks over at me while he's peeing, not like he's waiting, like you can hear it. And he looks over to me and he's like, "Hey, is it Friday?" And I get the days mixed up occasionally too.
Right.
And I don't know what day of the week it is. But usually you're only like one off. You're either ahead one or behind one.
Right.
And I look at my phone and I look at this guy and I go, "No, it's Tuesday. It was Tuesday." And he's like, "Is it the end of the week?" I'm like, No, it was the weekend 2 days ago. And it's like, yeah, so that guy probably doesn't contribute to the,
He's the guy that just constantly walks around with a cup of coffee and
yeah.
goes up to people.
"How's it going, Barry? How are you doing? How's the kids?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's like everyone thinks he's working, but he's really just like the guy that's just going in and sort of schmoozing everybody.
Sure, and then he just sits at his desk and like pretends to check his email for 6 or 8 hours a week.
I'm looking to get to that spot one day in like some sort of job.
Yeah, I mean, it could be worse.
Yeah.
It could be worse. He probably had suspenders on.
Right.
Belts? Pfft, I'm too old for belts. Fuck this shit.
Carry a briefcase with like absolutely nothing important in it. Just carrying it, man.
He didn't even seem like he had it that together. Like, if he'd had coffee, he might have known. Maybe that's what it was. The coffee machine in their office was broken and he didn't have his coffee. And suddenly, after running on coffee and cigarettes for 35 years, he doesn't get his cup of coffee and doesn't know where he is all of a sudden. Maybe I should give him the benefit of the doubt at least.
Very fucking possible.
Could be he's great at mortgage annulment standardization or whatever the fuck. Everything in that building, like this, it's so hard to describe to people what I do. And I think everybody in that building has a job like that, where it's just like, oh, 3 words somebody strung together? Yeah, that's a thing, I guess, that people... Because people are always like, what do we do in America? Do we make anything in America anymore? What do we... And as far as I can tell, we make movies, we make music, and then we're just middlemen for everything else, right? Like, that's what lawyers are. Middlemen or lawyers are middlemen between the public and the government. And then what we do, it's part of shipping, but we never see or touch the cargo, so we're middlemen between people who are buying things and people who are selling things. But it's even more than that, because like the shippers are the middlemen, right? Because they're taking it in the middle from the people who make it at one end to the people who get it at the other end. And then we're just like on a third, we're on the x-axis, just like hovering above the whole thing. But I feel like that's a lot of, it's like, oh yeah, somebody, what do you do? I work for a company that makes spreadsheets for the medical insurance assistance industry.
So
okay.
It's like the show The Office, like where like you have the office upstairs and the fucking the warehouse downstairs.
But it's not even that, like there is no warehouse.
But
where
the warehouse is the
sure.
You were saying like the big picture of
right. It's like like that. But then it's even like everything people do. Like in that building, there the whole this 15 or 20 floors. Everyone who does anything in that building, I'm sure, is like 6 steps removed from any actual job. That like a kid would come up with in elementary school. Like doing like there's a doctor and then there's medical insurance, right, that pays, and then there's like someone who works in an industry that does something that helps the industry that makes insurance work. So like you're like doctor, that's a job, everybody knows what that is, but you're like, oh no, I work in this. It's just like, oh, but I feel like that's what we do in America. I mean, and there are all of the other things. There's doctors and people who work in fast food restaurants, but like a lot of it seems like it's just call centers and like making spreadsheets to make spreadsheets for people who do a thing to help somebody who actually does a job.
Right. And it's bringing it together, man.
Yeah.
Bringing it together for everyone.
Synthesis.
Yeah.
The American synthesis economy.
Yeah. That's what we do now.
Should write a book.
There you go. And that's the title.
That's the I should write a book. That's the title. That's the title of my first album. I should write a book. Listen, I got some good ideas. I'm gonna write them down. You're gonna love them. You're gonna love my idea. I should write a book. Is what I'm saying. My book will be called Book. It'll be funny it'll be really fun. This is getting way too ahead of myself. But if I do record an album and I do call it I Should Write a Book, and then I actually write a book, what am I gonna call the book?
I should record an album.
Yeah, either that or this is the book.
Here's the book.
Yeah.
From the joke I made about the album.
Or just this is a book, and then the cover of the book is a picture of the album.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of 3 steps removed and being meta, even comedy, nothing is safe, nothing is sacred in this country. Even comedy is 3 steps removed from itself. And this is the end. It's commentary on itself, and that was, I'm trying to think of the other things we talked about. Yeah. Anal fisting is 3 steps removed from Richard Gere, because we weren't there. We don't know what happened. We're hearing about it 8th hand from Yahoo News and the lady in my office. Yeah. Exactly. So really, maybe this is where we're supposed to be. Yeah.
So this is where we're supposed to be. So let's fucking call it good, man.
I think this is where we are and where we're supposed to be, and we'll carry on We'll carry on being middlemen. Somebody's got to do it.
That's right. All right, fucking. You said what you want to say. Say anything more you want to say. Or
Do you
else
have-
I'm disconnecting you. And
Do you have do you have like a closing? Do you have a phrase? Do you have a thing? Is there a bit?
No, man.
No, there's no thing?
No, you can say whatever you
Okay.
want. This is America, man.
This is America.
This is America. This is
That's true.
yeah. It's like Two Live Crew, man. Say whatever the fuck you want, man. Summarized up right there. That's. Yeah.
Two live from the crew of two people in the birdhouse. This is America.
Cool.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Peace out, dogs.